Playing something like that sound like something you'd like to do? Well, I'm Scott Houston, and I'm going to show you how to do it in this quick video. I actually did another video previously to this about kind of just shoving you off the cliff just a little bit into the world of improvisation, and it was super well received, so I decided to do another one. And this one, we're also going to teach you a really often used little chord progression. It's just going to be a nice, easy way to have really pain-free kind of uh, noodling around without any wrong notes, I promise. So before we get into that, though, I do want to mention if you like these kind of videos and you like what I'm doing, I do encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to this channel. It's Piano Guy TV, my YouTube channel. You'll see, hopefully by now, some little bug, some little button or something right around here somewhere, and that'll allow you to subscribe to the channel. And if you do, hit that little bell that's next to it, and that way you'll get notified every time I do a new video. Also, if you want to get a little bit deeper and you really think this is something that might be up your alley, I would encourage you to go check out my online course at pianoinaflash.com. So let's dig right into this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and switch to the piano shot. What we're going to do with our left hand, and again, the whole goal here is to give you something really easy to do with your left hand so that you can think about starting to just make up your own melody in your right hand and improvise a little bit. And I need to apologize. I just scraped the heck out of the top of my hand about a week and a half ago, and it's still not quite there yet. So anyway, here's what we're going to do, and I can tell you what these chords are, but I really would rather you just kind of learn this by rote. But we're going to play what's called a 2-5-1. Let me just explain this one thing. This is a C on a piano, right? Two C's. So if you just count up, we're going to do this in the key of C because it's easier to explain, but you can do everything I'm teaching you in any other key and just move it up there once we get done with this. So anyway, if you have just a C, it's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, right? So there we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, if you just use those numbers and say 2, 5, 1, right? Do it like that, 2, 5, 1. If you use that numbering scheme and play all white notes, play some chords on top of it, it'll sound like this. There's the 2 chord, right? There's the 5 chord, that's a G major. Then down to C, which is the 1. Well, we're going to add a 4th note to each one of these chords and make them 7th chords. So the 2 is a D minor 7. Again, you don't know the chords, just blindly memorize what I'm showing you here. Well, I guess if I was showing you, you wouldn't be able to blindly memorize it now, would you? All right, so there's a D minor 7. There's a G7, and don't worry about tucking your finger down. I'm just trying to get my hands out of the way here so you can see the notes. G, B, D, and F. Then to a C major 7. So again, here it is. But we're going to make that easier because this is kind of a big jump, right? This, and then you're going to have all this target practice to like, oh. You may not get it right. So let's make it a lot easier. Check this out. On the G7, if I want to put these 2 fingers, instead of playing them in this order, 1, 2, 3, 4, say I take these 2 notes and I move down an octave and play them here. Right? So now I've got those 4 notes. So again, same notes, right? There's G, B, D, and F. Well, now we're going to play D, F, G, B. Same 4 notes, we're just doing them in a different order. We're just stacking the notes down. That's what we're going to do for the middle chord. So the first one was here. Here's the next one. And you'll notice that all I'm doing is taking the top 2 notes and moving down 1 white note. Right? So from here to here. And now to get to the final one, look all we have to do. To go from here, that you take the bottom 2 and move down 1 white note. So here we go. Ha-ha! Easiness. D minor 7, move the top 2 down, G7, and move the bottom 2 down to get to the 3rd one. So that's it. Alright? That's what we're going to do over and over. I'm going to teach you actually one more here in a minute, but for now, this is it. So that's a 2 to the 5, 7 to the 1. Actually, I'm playing a 2, 7 too, but don't need to know that. 2, 5, 1 is what everybody calls this. I mean, you'll just recognize this. It's just used so often in so many tunes. There's well, here, if any of you that have seen the movie La La Land recently, we have, what is it? I think that's it. Something real close to that if there's just a million. Yeah. Sorry, here's Autumn Leaves. I never play it in this key, but there's, and then it goes on and on and on, but that's it. So 2, 5, 1. All right, so that's what you need to do. Spend a couple minutes getting comfortable doing that with your left hand. Now, here's the beauty of that. With your right hand, you can pretty much play any white note and it will sound okay. All right, some a little bit better than others, but for the most part, it's kind of like, you know, I think I said this in the other video, wrong noteless noodling. Right? You just can't you can't really play a wrong note. So you could just play up the scales, if you will. It's not a terrifically exciting way to do it, but just to prove my point, say I'm playing this. See, that worked, or you know. Right, whatever you're going to do. Well, let me give you just a couple tips to make that a little bit more interesting, and this is where kind of the improvisational tricks come in. What always sounds good, if you want to, like, you got to think about a note that you kind of want to land on, or kind of a target, if you will. And what's always a good target is one of the notes that's in the chord you're playing. So at the beginning, one of the great targets is either or. Right, it's the same. That's the 4 notes that are in the chord, D, F, A, and C. You know, pick one of those chord tones as kind of the note you want to focus on. Now, when I get ready to move to this chord, I'm probably not going to stay on that A, at least for right now, because that's not one of the notes in the chord. But I'd move up and find another one to kind of mentally, and again, you're not just playing it to death, but you just want to kind of mentally hang your hat on one of these chord tones. And then I could stay on it for the third because it's that B is in the C major 7, right? So if you can start thinking about playing, you know, targeting kind of some chord tones, I think that helps. So you right, I was playing chord tones. Right, but I was like thinking, I was here on a chord tone, I'm thinking I want to get to the G. So I'm just kind of working my way down. I could have done that, or, you know, you can use what's called a chromatic run, meaning you're using the sharps and flats, you're getting to it just 1/2 step at a time. So maybe you're playing, and now I want to get here, so I'm going to run up to it. Right? And then I'm going to get to the C, and then something like that. That sounded kind of bad, but all right. So do that for a while. Now, to take it a step further, and again, the whole idea is for you just to just be free. And I know that probably really just is totally freaking out a lot of you that are serious classical pianists that are like, oh, you mean it's not written? How am I supposed to know what to play, Scott? I need to see it in notation, right? Well, that's kind of the whole purpose of this, is just let your brain do it. The whole idea of this is not to need any written notation, to kind of, you know, let yourself get to the point where you realize, wow, I'm just kind of creating this on the fly, all right? So I want to give you one more little chord here that'll kind of make a nice turnaround, if you will, or a transition to just keep doing this over and over. It'll just sound a lot hipper. Let me show you one other thing, okay? So we were on a D minor 7, right? To there. Let me just show you this one. If you want to, it's a nice transition to get back to the D, is to play, it's actually it's a C sharp diminished chord is what it is, but it's these notes. It's C sharp, E, G, and A sharp, or B flat, depending on which way you want to think of it. So you play, and then up to the D. So again, the whole progression goes bum, bum. See how it kind of leads up, you know, it kind of feels like it wants to go there. So just get to the point where you could do that in your sleep, or you could do that while you were watching a TV show or something. So then you don't have to panic about that, and you can think about your right hand improvisational playing, which is really why we're doing this. So again, think about maybe you know, a simple melodic line that uses primarily chord tones. And again, you know, that actually, now that I've got that in my brain from La La Land, is a good one example. Right, so it lands on a chord tone, then you go. So make up your own. Maybe you just play down the chord tones. Right, those were notes right out of that diminished chord. Right? Whatever, I was in a very schmaltzy way doing my best to figure out a way to show you guys some of these chromatic runs. Maybe you, now I'm thinking I want to get down here to the G. Who knows? I mean, these sound pretty funny and stilted when I'm thinking about saying them explicitly to you, but that's really the whole idea behind this thing. So it's a 2-5-1 progression. Just get that down, and you can do that one C sharp diminished chord to make it kind of a little transition back into it, and just do that over and over. There's no need for speed. There's no need for, I don't know, accuracy, if you will. This is all about giving yourself something harmonically, that then with your right hand you can really use your brain to create music. You know, become a music maker, not just a note reader or not a note regurgitator of what someone else has written, right? That's really starts to swing open the door into all these styles that we work on in my online method and really in everything I've done for the last 20 years. So there you have it. Another chance to kind of just have fun without any fear of failure, right? If you've got headphones, put them on so you know if you're nervous about that, or if not, I think you'll just find this is a very sonically pleasing thing to play and a nice little chord change. And it'll also get your ears really well tuned to hearing 2-5-1s, which is a critical part of almost all the music that we're playing in these styles. So I hope that helps. Right? Now again, if you have fun with this and this sounds like something you may be interested in, I hope you'd go check out my online course at pianoinaflash.com. We always have an absolutely free intro course that's available for you to kind of dip your toes in the water if that's something and see if maybe we're a good fit one way or the other. So I hope to see you in the course someday. If not, I hope this helps. And as always, have fun playing piano.